Do you guys remember that time when weird, disturbing animations peaked on YouTube from around 2000s to 2010s? Yeah, those were the good old days for the Zillennials. So don't ask why they're pretty cool with the whole skibbity toilet thing these days, because the animations years before that were way worse, which basically means better. Anyway, let's already go dive into that nostalgia and remember the scarring animation videos of YouTube. So if you're a teen in around 2000s to 2010s and you're always on YouTube, you'd probably be familiar with David Firth. You know, the guy who created the Salad Finger series, which is actually still alive until now. The series, I mean. David Firth is actually like the king of unhinged animations on YouTube, especially that era, and he's done quite a number of amazing animations, like Cream, which is actually my most favorite animation of his. It's just so good in a sense that although what's happening in the animation is quite impossible to happen in real life, for the reason being the cream is too good to be true, it is still so relatable. Then he also created Dog of Man, which is unlisted on YouTube, so you'll not find it just by searching it, but the re-upload actually has the link to the original video, so go check it out as well. And yeah, like I have said, he created the infamous Salad Finger series. The most popular episode of the series is actually his very first episode called Spoons, which features our good old pal Salad Fingers talking about how he loves his rusty spoons. The video is just around a minute and some seconds, but it gained traction just because of how weird and unsettling it is. There's just something about the way Salad Fingers talk, which is calm and innocent, that makes him really spooky. And well, that was in 2007, so it means teenagers way back were majority of emos. And you know just how emos love relating themselves into bizarre stuff. Anyway, so Salad Fingers was one of the popular animations on YouTube that's labeled as disturbing, which it is, especially the episodes next to Spoons. But you know, just because it is disturbing doesn't mean it's nonsense. The Salad Fingers lore is quite good actually. I even have some personal favorites from the series, and those are Glass Brother and Birthday. And for a little context of those episodes, Glass Brother is the 11th episode of Salad Fingers, where he stitched up scraps of flesh onto his finger puppet so it can be a real boy. Then Birthday was when Salad threw a birthday party for this guy that he's been keeping in his house for a while. And in my opinion, those two episodes were more unnerving than Spoons, just because they reveal more about the character Salad or Salad Fingers. And well, these scenes are just something else. And because we're still talking about David Firth's work, and I have already mentioned Dog of Man earlier, which is quite a body horror, I would also include it here. So Dog of Man was uploaded by Firth in 2008, and it follows a guy who seems to be depressed because of loneliness. Then out of nowhere, a dog appeared and started convincing him that a tumor would be a great idea for a companion. And so he listened, did just that by buying a tumor growing product from the store. Yep, that's the thing in this animations universe. Anyway, so he comes home, the tumor gets bigger, then from there, the happenings progress into this. And this is the ending. Now, I actually did not see Dog of Man before. I only have seen it while doing research for this video, and actually I hate that I didn't see this first before I've seen that body horror of a human version of Many-Legged Worm, because certainly Cat Dog wasn't enough to prepare me for that. Moving on, we got Henry Eats. Henry Eats is an animation created by Ben Wheel, who's another OG when it comes to disturbing animations during the 2000s to 2010s of YouTube. So in 2003, Wheel created Henry Eats, but it wasn't on YouTube until 10 years after. So this one, actually, you have the choice to not click and watch it because the scarring part is already the thumbnail. Right when you search up Henry Eats, this face will show up, which is basically the jump scare. The video pretty much consists of unsettling looking characters, and the concept is satire, so things are oddly represented, and you're quite free to interpret it however you want. So in a video it shows this unsettling looking guy feeding this other unsettling looking guy with a milk looking thing that the flying faucet drains from the left side of this unsettling looking guy's head. Then later on, this dinosaur skull will show up and kill them. There's actually so much weird happening in this video, and it'll basically leave squiggles in your brain, and on top of those squiggles is this face, which is basically a standard face that would prevent you from sleeping at night actually. Also, I'm confused of who's Henry in the video because this main guy didn't even eat, so how's he Henry? Anyway, this fourth one is kind of similar to Henry Eats when it comes to unsettling looking. This one is actually a mix of animation, stop motion, whatnot, like Amazing World of Gumball, but not very amazing for mental health. It's the animation called Pete the Meat Puppet, which already will give you an idea how disturbing it'll look just by seeing Meat Puppet in the title. I'm probably way too dense to not take it as a warning then, but yeah, basically this is Pete. That's what he looks like. And him and the butcher girl sings together in the video like it's just a fun theater play, and basically I didn't watch the whole thing because I couldn't stand Pete. Probably because it looks like a burger patty with a face, and I don't want that to become the reason of me converting to veganism, and so I didn't finish the video. So let's move on to the fifth one, a 3D animation by Cool 3D World. This one is called Earth and Moon. Basically, Earth and Moon saw each other while swimming in a lake, I guess. And then this ball slapping happened, and then this guy was born. And then he appeared in the same lake Earth and Moon first saw each other. Well, they're actually still there, but they seem dead. And then this guy saw a bird and rode on it. Similar to Henry Eats, it's satirical. So, you know it when too much weird stuff is going on all at the same time. It rattles people, and automatically it's disturbing. The very last video I will be talking about actually holds a special place in my heart because I love Left 4 Dead 2. And Alice is actually my most used character when playing a game, so I actually regret saying that now, realizing what happened to him in this animation video. So in 2013, there was this guy who came up with a bizarre story of a 9-year-old boy who calls out to Shrek because Shrek is love, Shrek is life, obviously. Then actually I think most of us who have already seen this video knows already what happened that night. The kid calls out to Shrek, and finally Shrek shows up and starts molesting him. That story was given a script, then read and recorded in a dramatic tone, of course. Then somebody thought it'd be a great idea to create a visual for it. Then Shrek is love, Shrek is life, the animation was born. Basically, it's disturbing because of how sensitive the topic is, and really, if that lore came out today, the creator would be canceled. Also, just Shrek's face looking like this alone is already scary. Add to it the ambience. Actually, even this photo of Michael Jordan became creepy in this video, and then of course, this scene that no one's ever prepared to see. And voila, you got the most scarring animation video on YouTube. So yeah, those are pretty much the scarring animations that I have in mind that I remember and actually have seen when I was younger. If you guys have more, you could comment them so that I could also check them out and maybe even make part 2 to this video including your examples.